In gyms around the world, you'll find guys pumping iron, trying to attain a perfect muscle-bound physique. But in one gym in Arlington, Texas, they take it to extremes. The legendary METROFLEX GYM is where bodybuilding champions are born. These men and women have taken the human form to its absolute limits, and then some. It's a world of sweat and grind, pumping rock music and primal grunts and roars.
It's a dungeon. You go there to yell and scream. That's what makes champions.
You have to be very selfish to be like one of the best. It's always about you.
His legs would be that wide from the side. I'm not kidding you.
This is when workouts go truly hardcore. In all of us lives the outcast, the taboo. We are all outsiders, living in our own crazy land. Arlington, Texas, a city where things are big and brash. It's the home of the Dallas Cowboys and the Texas Rangers. The theme parks and malls here are clean and respectable. But tucked away from this straight world is a very different place, where people push things way beyond the norm. The METROFLEX GYM is where the world's most extreme bodybuilders train, a place where legends are born. But it's no ordinary gym. It's rough and tough. Its members will use anything on hand to build their muscle strength.
Yeah, let's go.
Driven by an almost obsessive desire to push their bodies to the ultimate, they sculpt them into seemingly superhuman forms. This hardcore training facility was created by former bodybuilder Brian Dobson when he found he wasn't welcome at regular gyms.
Founded METROFLEX in 1987, kind of as a escape from the corporate fitness centers that were taking over America. People like me were competitive bodybuilders, powerlifters, strongmen. We weren't really welcome in that environment. The really heavy training, the yelling, the intensity.
Yep, woo. Yep, woo. Yep, woo. Yeah, like woo. Oh, yeah. Woo.
Doing things like deadlifts. You have to have a special platform. You know, you use chalk. Chalk makes a mess. They didn't like that. I always admired, physical strength, I guess, I would see the Hercules movies, and I'd be like, wow, man, and I'd see Hercules get all the beautiful girls. I'm like, yeah, man, that's right up my alley, man. I want to be like Hercules. People do come here, and like I said, they think they want to be a bodybuilder, and they walk in, and then, they get the old deer in the headlights look. They may see, some guy back here deadlifting 800 pounds or whatever, and, they never make it back, I mean, there's people that never even get out of their car.
The guys at Brian's gym work towards the many competitions that could bring them riches as a pro bodybuilder. With the Nationals just 2 weeks away, it's make or break time for the rookies. For now, they can only dream of one day joining the ranks of the true immortals of the sport. It's a Monday morning, and bodybuilding legend and former Mr. Olympia Ronnie Coleman is back working out of the gym he's stuck with throughout his glittering career.
Ronnie came here in 1991. He was a rookie Arlington policeman. One of the other policemen told me about him. I said, man, bring him down here, and I go, I need a workout partner.
Brian's new training partner started out life as a normal little kid, but would grow into one of the world's biggest and best bodybuilders.
I never got into the sport to be Mr. Olympia. I just wanted the free membership to the gym is what, Brian offered me at the time, and I was working full-time in the police department, and I figured, that was going to be my career. Brian's the reason why I exist. If there wasn't no Brian, there would be no Ronnie. Brian is the visionary.
We trained together at the beginning, probably the first 3 years, and eventually he got so strong, he outgrew me. And we used to bring people in here to try to match him, and it was fun, man. It was kind of like the Old West, gunslinger coming to test the champion, and a lot of them didn't even make it through the first workout.
He the one that saw everything before anybody else. He wasn't talking about I was gonna be world champ. I didn't believe him. I didn't really care about being no world champ. I just wanted to work out and have fun working out. But I came a long way from just having fun and working out.
Yeah.
Ronnie Coleman has hit the heights of this sport more than most. Crowned Mr. Olympia an incredible 8 times, Ronnie's awesome physique and competition achievements have made him a living legend in the world of bodybuilding. It wasn't just hard work that made him rise above the pack. He needed another key ingredient: genetics.
The number one most important thing you gotta have to be a bodybuilder is genetics. If you ain't got genetics, you might as well forget it. It's just like, me trying to be president of the United States. That is never gonna happen because I ain't got the genetics to think like that and act like that.
I mean, Ronnie is a genetic freak. I feel like God built him to be a bodybuilder, man, and to be the best. And his glute development, I mean, you could grate cheese on Ronnie's butt, man, when he was lean, man.
Big Ron moves through the machines and weights, proving he's still got immense strength.
He'd go out there and do those lunges and come back in. I'd just be like, what the crap, man? I mean, his legs would be that wide from the side. I'm not kidding you. I mean, like a quarter horse or something, man. He pretty much dominated the world of bodybuilding for 8 years. Really, that's the greatest Mr. Olympia of all time, in my opinion. I mean, I don't think anybody will ever win it 8 times in a row ever again.
The grimy METROFLEX gym has always been close to Ronnie's heart.
METROFLEX gym is in a class all by itself. There's dirt everywhere and there's dust everywhere. If you're used to it, it don't really bother you. And I've been doing it all my life, so it's never bothered me. But, on the other hand, some people, this would be totally disgusting.
To me, this weight right here, no matter what, is going to always weigh 45 pounds. Whether it's shiny and brand new or covered in rust and blood like they are down here, it's still 45 pounds.
You got to have a certain attitude about working out when you work out at METROFLEX. I just say it like that. You got to be hardcore.
Ronnie is one of around 400 pro bodybuilders in America. There are many thousands more competing amateurs. The journey to becoming a pro is notoriously brutal. Only those who consistently rank high in amateur competitions will be awarded a coveted pro card, allowing them to compete at the top level.
It's not easy. Like I said, I compared it to making it in the NFL, really making it as an NFL quarterback. To make it to the pro ranks in IFBB is a tough task. And most people aren't up to it. Most people burn out long before they get there.
A new hopeful in the gym's ranks is Armon Adibi. As a kid and young teenager, he was a slim and agile soccer player. He's since made the transformation to become one of society's true outsiders.
I was a skinny kid. I was freshman year in high school. I was 115 pounds. I started reading the muscle magazines and I got addicted to it right away, not knowing what I was getting myself into or anything about bodybuilding, but I just knew I loved, that look, that cartoon character look. And I would tell my friends, hey, I'm going to be on those magazines someday, and I'm going to, they're just like, shut up, dude, But now I'm doing it, so.
Having been successful on the amateur scene, he's now aiming for the top. But first, he'll need to try and earn an elusive pro card from the International Federation of Bodybuilders. The Nationals, held in Miami, is only 2 weeks away.
If I earned my pro card, it would be an awesome achievement. You know, I've been doing bodybuilding for 10 years, and that's everybody's ultimate goal once they get started in bodybuilding.
Diet is crucial to the sport. The first step to getting super big is simply to put on weight. So Armand is paying one of his regular visits to the grocery store.
With breakfast, I'll have about 8 whites, egg whites, and 2 yellows, 2 yolks in there. This is all 1 week's worth of shopping. So on my diet, I spend about maybe like $300 to $400 a week.
Gallon of milk every day, 3 pounds of meat. Of course, my mother wasn't very happy about that. I would give her extra money to help pay for all that food. She'd cook, you know, a whole chicken for the family. She'd cook another chicken for me. She would make homemade pizza for them with cheese. She'd make homemade pizza for me with 2 pounds of hamburger meat on it.
Eating all those calories is a tremendous job. You know, people think, oh, that's great. You get to eat all that food and you still stay in great shape. It gets, you know, physically and mentally tiring trying to eat every 2 hours and stuff your face. All right, appreciate it. That's all. Thank you. You too.
If you don't eat right, you ain't gonna put on no muscle. And I didn't learn that until I got here, because when I was just powerlifting, you know, I just ate what I wanted. I ate hamburgers and pizza and all that kind of stuff. You know, I didn't gain a lot of weight. Protein is what builds muscle.
My metabolism is very fast, so I get that grainy and veiny, like, look. I wouldn't say easily, but easier than most others. But it's a blessing and a curse, because in the off-season, I have to consume a lot more food than other people to gain that size.
Not a lot of meat, huh?
Yeah. A lot of rice, a lot of meat, a lot of fish.
Looks like you're having a party, though, actually.
Yeah.
Coming up, Armand continues to get his body into shape. And startling proof that the women can keep up with the men.
I go pretty good for a girl, huh? What do you mean pretty good for a girl? Yeah, but you're not a girl. I'm like, yes, I am.
The METROFLEX Gym in Arlington, Texas, is the epicenter of the hardcore bodybuilding scene. Despite the rusty weights and graffitied walls, this place is where the big boys of the sport train. And I mean the really big boys. Under the watchful eye of trainer and gym manager Brian Dobson, a group of committed athletes pump and press hundreds of pounds of solid metal weight, hoping to reach bodybuilding stardom and taste the riches that would come with it. A marketable Mr. Olympia champion can feasibly rake in millions of dollars in sponsorships and endorsements. One METROFLEX regular who's already turned pro and hit the big time is Branch Warren. Winner of several professional bodybuilding championships, he's now living the high life. He represents the goal that the amateurs are aiming for. Waiting at home for Branch is his pregnant wife, Trish, hard at work in the kitchen. Trish is an integral part of his team. She prepares and monitors every last calorie he consumes.
I have to be at the top of my game with everything I do all the time, with making sure that he has what he needs, his meals are prepared or whatever it is, because you know there's times that I will be in the middle of something and I have to drop everything I'm doing to make sure that he has what he has.
Man, I never even dreamed about a house like this, to tell you the truth. I grew up on a ranch in West Texas, and I went to high school in the wealthy area of Dallas-Fort Worth, and I was a kid driving a $300 car, and my friends were driving Porsches and BMWs to high school.
Now he too has struck it rich. But success hasn't turned Branch into a slouch. He has an inbuilt macho need to conquer and provide.
Just sitting in the house all day long is just not, you know, it's not Branch. Branch wants to be out killing something or hunting something or, you know, bringing home the meat so he can make it to the next show. But, you know, I mean, he's got his soft side.
But sometimes to get by in this business, you've got to be mean. That's when Branch relies on the help of his hard-nosed agent, Joey Petrozilla.
Brian, it's Joey.
Joey's strength is that he's a man with a one-track mind.
Money, 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 plenty of money. All I want is money, tons of dough.
It went from nothing to, in the last 5 years, of managing the top players in the industries. And when I say top players, I look at wealth, not their capabilities. And the athletes I manage make a lot of money. Compared to guys he competes against, Branch makes more money than any of the top 5 bodybuilders in the world today.
All in it and in it to win it. See, went ahead and did it. Now I gotta go get it. All in it and in it to win it. See,
With lunch over, it's back to the gym for Branch.
Branch is probably one of the hardest working individuals I've ever met in my entire life, and he never stops and he never gives up. I mean, really, he's a machine.
I beat guys on stage that I should never beat. They're genetically and physically more gifted than I am. I beat them because I outwork them.
Branch came here as a teenager. He also had great potential. He had the hardness of a veteran bodybuilder as a young man.
With several pro competitions looming, Branch must get himself into shape. That includes losing any excess body fat through a combination of tough workouts and strict dieting, which doesn't always put him in the best of moods.
Closer to an event, I can tell you, Branch won. I don't talk to him the week before the show because I fear for my body and my health because he does get mad. They are depleted of their nutrition. You know, they want more food. And you, like any of us, you get hungry. And when you get hungry and you don't have food, you're not a very good, nice person to be around.
6 weeks to a month before the show, it really starts to drain on you. And I mean, you get so exhausted that after you train, you don't even want to get off the couch. But you can't sleep either.
Branch, known as the Texas Titan, has been in the pro scene for several years now. He knows that it's dog-eat-dog at the top.
This sport is so competitive and so hard, and there's only the top, 6, 7 guys that really make any money. So if you're ever going to get there, you got to be hungry, man.
One man who's got the hunger is amateur hopeful Corey Matthews. If he can manage to follow in Branch's footsteps, it would be a dramatic turnaround in a life that has taken many wrong turns along the way.
Yep.
I was a youth that always got in trouble. I was a very angry child, so violence was a big part of whatever I did.
Family problems led a barely teenage Corey to leave home and hustle a living on the rough streets of Las Vegas, where poverty, crime, and drugs were ever present.
Of course, needless to say, I was around lots of drugs and what have you. So the drugs, I had a few drug charges as well. And I was incarcerated in Las Vegas, Nevada. And that's where I was introduced to the weights. In some of my darkest times, I'd have to say I was a very depressed young man. But weights were always a way for me to channel my energy. And I found a way to release some of my pressure and some of my anxiety.
With great determination, Corey has turned his life around. He's hoping that his total commitment will take him to the pro ranks.
Every morning, I get to the gym about 6:30 and do my cardio from 6:30 to about 7:45. Then I leave the gym and come here at 8 o'clock. It's work from that point on.
He's certainly made a big impression on his colleagues.
First time I met Corey was at a party, and yeah, he scared the shit out of me. Man, I tell you what, he couldn't be any further from personality-wise than what you would expect.
I admire his work ethic. I don't know if I could do it, honestly. I mean, the guy's busy from the time he wakes up till the time he goes to bed.
Because I'm training for the show, my boss supports me and lets me get off at 4. So I usually can get off now at 4 o'clock and go train at the gym. And I'll train at the gym till about 6:30.
Corey is also training for the upcoming Nationals in Miami, where he'll compete alongside fellow amateur Armand in the hope of earning his pro card.
It's fun to see the new guys come in that have that passion, you know, that I had when I was a teenager, you know, and we, of course, encourage them, and we try to help them, you know, and help them reach those goals.
Oh, yeah. Hey, first one up. Here we go, yeah. Oh, yeah, nothing. Yeah. Playing with it, big man. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Ah, yeah. 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 Nice job. Good job. Beautiful.
Welcome to my humble abode.
Unlike Branch Warren in his millionaire's mansion, Corey lives in a humble rented apartment with his wife and 4 kids. He's got to fit his domestic commitments into an already crammed schedule.
I get home and, you know, it's eating and, of course, the playtime with the kids, and not long after that, bed. Everyone has a different reason, a different aim, a different angle as to why they want to turn pro. For me personally, I would love to just, you know, put myself in a position where my children and my wife, we can be in a nice home. You know, it doesn't have to be a mansion or anything.
There's a third amateur at METROFLEX who's looking to up his game. Chris Hunt was a teenage prodigy in the bodybuilding world. But at 21, he's now got to compete in the men's class. And it remains to be seen if he's got the physical and mental toughness to make that big step up.
I've made a lot of sacrifices. I've trained twice a day. I've done cardio twice a day. The diet has been very, very strict, and everything's been real precise. But I feel I'm very confident and I'm ready to rock.
Chris, along with Corey and Armand, will be competing in Miami in an attempt to turn pro.
We're all in separate weight classes, so hopefully if we can all win, that'll be great. We're going to bring it back to Texas.
Today, he's improvising with a heavy, rusty chain, a common sight in this most unconventional of gyms.
All the body parts are there. It's just a matter of mentally staying focused, you know, staying off the kitchen, you know, and really just thinking deep mentally. It's all mental from here. I'm not going to get any bigger, but that mental focus has to be there. I dream about this. It's the first thing, you know, I think about when I wake up. I pray about it during every meal. You know, every rep is all geared towards this one end result that I'm hoping for.
Coming up, Armand gets some much-needed assistance at the chiropractor.
Just try and touch your ear all the way down towards your shoulder. Great.
In the world of America's top bodybuilders, the latest batch of competitors to beat are in training. They eat big, lift big, and look big. But when it comes to competition, it won't come down to who lifts the most weight. Instead, competing muscle men will be scrutinized by a panel of judges in what is essentially a beauty contest of beef and brawn. The famous METROFLEX Gym in Texas is not your ordinary gym. You won't find shiny chrome rowing machines, yoga mats, and jacuzzis here. METROFLEX has a spit and sawdust feel, where raw brute strength is put to the test, and anything not nailed down is fair game.
Come on, push. Blow, 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 blow. Blow it out. One more. There you go.
With a crucial qualifying competition in Miami looming, and the promise of pro cards for the winners, the guys in the gym must be careful not to push themselves too hard.
2 weeks out, you have to be very, very careful because you have no fat on your body. It's very easy to pull a muscle, blow out your knee or your elbow or something like that. That would be the most devastating thing to happen right before a big competition, just because your ego is getting to you and you want it to lift a little more weight.
Former champ Ronnie Coleman knows what can happen when your body reaches the breaking point.
I heard something go, pow! Sound like a gunshot, you know. I felt pain go down my leg. I'm like, okay, I done messed up something, but I'm gonna finish the workout. Put on my uniform. I was going to work. I'm like, wait a minute, my back's still hurting. Something wrong. So instead of me going to work, I went to the emergency room. Found I had blown out a disc.
Armand Adibi treats his body like a finely tuned machine, one that needs regular care and maintenance.
Going to see my chiropractor, TJ, for my weekly adjustment. I usually go about 2 times a week to get my body in line. What's going on?
Not much, man. How you doing?
Pretty good, pretty good.
My name's TJ Gerhardt. I'm a licensed chiropractor here in Texas. Armand spends all week hammering his body in the gym, beating himself up with all these heavy weights, and then he comes into me twice a week, and I try and patch him back together so that he can continue to do it the next week. Lay on back here, please. Particularly with a bodybuilder, the stresses, the diet, all these things have a real potential to irritate and stress out the nervous system. And the nervous system controls every function of our entire body. So our #1 goal with Armand is to relieve the stress on his nervous system. If we can relieve the stress on his nervous system, then his body will heal itself from the inside out. And on his elbow here, we're doing ultrasound. Basically, the ultrasound is treating a tendon injury he has on his tricep. And we're trying to break up some of the scar tissue that's formed in there, and that in turn alleviates pain as well for him when he's exercising. All right, Armand, if you just go ahead and lay face down for me, please. The lower back takes the brunt of the beating, a lot of pain shooting down the leg, pelvis is getting rotated out of position, things like that. The biggest difference, obviously, is just the muscle tone around the spine. That's our biggest obstacle when it comes to doing the adjustments. I would adjust an average person much gentler than I have to adjust Armand to overcome that muscle tension and strength that he has there. The diet that they put themselves through, where they dry out all of the fluids, particularly in their muscles and joints, I think that's what causes the most severe, like the longest lasting damage happens when they're preparing right up to a show. It's not the healthiest thing you can do to become a bodybuilder. The extra weight that they carry in muscle, the amount of weight that they have to lift in the gym just isn't what the human body was designed for.
Just try and touch your ear all the way down towards your shoulder. Okay. Yeah, do the same thing on this side, bring your ear all the way down.
If Armand came in and said he wanted to know what he could do to be the healthiest he could be as a human being, I would tell him stop bodybuilding. But there's no way that's going to happen, so I might as well just help him along the way. All right, my man. Good to go.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate it. Hey, good luck on that show.
Yeah.
Hang in there on that diet.
Without TJ, I'd be a mess. You know, my neck hurts constantly, like chronic pain. So it gives me a temporary relief until I see him the next time, because I'm beating my body up every single day.
Coming up, there's another awesome body in the gym that's guaranteed to raise a few eyebrows.
I'm pushing the envelope. I purposely want to push the envelope. I go, pretty good for a girl, huh? And, you know, sometimes it goes right over their head. They don't understand. What do you mean, pretty good for a girl? Yeah, but you're not a girl. I'm like, yes, I am.
Pecs are popping in the METROFLEX Gym in Arlington, Texas. These dudes are among the biggest in the sport, and they're always trying to push themselves to new limits. There's one body in the gym today that has certainly done that and is guaranteed to turn heads.
My name is Renee Tony. I am a competitive female bodybuilder. I stress female, Okay, just for those of you that may be kind of confused, but yeah, I get that, so I had to clarify that.
Renee Toney is a true outsider. With a gun show as good as any of the guys, she's taken her gender to new places.
She walked by, and I looked at her, I was like, Brian, is that a guy or a girl?
I go, pretty good for a girl, huh? And, you know, sometimes it goes right over their head. They don't understand. What do you mean, pretty good for a girl? Yeah, but you're not a girl. I'm like, yes, I am. I've done a total of 4 shows. 2 wins, 1 second place, and 1 last place.
That last place is perhaps an indication of how her sport regards her now. Renee feels cut adrift by the bodybuilding authorities. The consensus seems to be that she is just too big and does not represent what the sponsors are looking for.
It's a lot of politics. It's a political agenda with it. The favorite, the flavor of the month, whatever you want to call it. Now, I've even came in second place in a show, actually, and the winner herself turned and looked at me, and she's like, how did that happen? They don't want the women to go this far because, we still have to sell sports apparel or supplements, and, the average housewife isn't going to aspire to look like that female bodybuilder with extreme muscle. Win, lose, or draw, I do it for me first and foremost.
Renee's bodybuilding career has been a tough journey at times, often with little support.
I really never had a real strong support group, no. No, I've been out there on my own.
Even her own family is unsure. The little girl who once wore frills and lace has gone through a dramatic transformation, one that her mother struggles to understand.
My mom is old-fashioned, and she's, women just don't have muscles, and she doesn't understand it, and I didn't have a little boy, I had a little girl, that kind of attitude, mentality that she has. I don't appreciate being dictated to and told, what I'm supposed to look like, how far I can and cannot take my body. So, it's always going to be that way for me. The message that I like to get across is, look what a woman can do. If she's just given that ball, given that chance, just to take her body to whatever limits that she can, give her that ball and let her run with it. I had to kind of find my family, within people that I met in the sport, whether they be fans or fans, followers, people in the gym that I meet.
Renee is one of the few athletes in the game to talk openly about whether she uses anabolic steroids to help her gain that extraordinary bulk and muscle.
In the past, I have. When you get to a certain level of bodybuilding, I'm not going to lie, I'm not going to pull any punches. It's almost a necessary evil, and that's just the truth about it.
Renee believes that many competitions are still pretty relaxed about steroid use.
So I believe that now the most they'll do, and honestly, just to kind of look like they're doing their job, they may just give a urine test or a lie detector test just to look like they're doing their job. But there's honestly ways to pass that. There's ways to get past that. Currently, I'm very happy to say that I am anabolic free right now, and I feel great.
Coming up, Brian looks to God to give his boys the edge in the upcoming nationals.
Let him represent you in that dark world of bodybuilding, Lord God. And we pray you just give him favor with those judges, Lord God.
And Armand is in the body shop for a respray. It's another day at the METROFLEX Gym.
Oh, yeah, come on.
As usual, it's full of wannabe bodybuilder stars. Joy Petrozula, agent to several of METROFLEX's bodybuilders, is heading into the gym to meet owner Brian and talk over upcoming events.
How you doing, Brian?
What's up, man?
Whoa! How you doing, man? Hey, Chad. What's going on, man? You good, man?
Theirs is an odd relationship, but it seems to work.
You know how it goes. The thing about working with these guys, I could be working with CEOs in corporate America at 10 o'clock in the morning, and at 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm in the gym with Brian Dobson, who is a barbarian. He eats raw meat, you know, he hunts his own food. He's just a character, you know, and amazing that he and I are friends.
Joey knows that there's more behind Brian's tough guy image.
Brian has a heart as huge as the city of Dallas. And people don't see that because everybody thinks about them personally and about hardcore and stuff, but they don't see the other side that I see every day. How was workout today? You guys ready? Good, looks good. We got the homeless still coming up Saturday.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get one. We'll put that on the barbecue tomorrow.
We got a lot of crazy stuff going on next few days.
Dozens of hungry stomachs are being filled, some cold bodies being clothed. Then, Brian looks to the Lord to give Corey a little boost in the upcoming contest in Miami.
Just stretch your hands towards Brother Corey, man. We're going to say a prayer for him. Make it be easy for him to just go down there with a lot of confidence, Lord God. Let him represent you in that dark world of bodybuilding, Lord God. And we pray you just give him favor with those judges, Lord God. And we just bless you in the mighty name of Jesus, the name above every single name, Jesus Christ. Amen.
There's no doubt that Brian's faith is heartfelt and his selfless acts of charity are far-reaching. It's perhaps this side of his character that makes him such a supportive and inspirational coach. One capable of changing people's lives.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's fun to see the new guys come in that have that passion, you know, that I had when I was a teenager, you know, and we, of course, encourage that, man, and we try to help them, you know, and help them reach those goals, you know.
Meanwhile, across town, Armand's paying a visit to his local strip mall. There's something else he needs to do as part of his preparation for the upcoming competition. Get himself a spray tan.
Good, how are you? Pretty good. Just here doing my spray tan.
Your spray? Okay. Go get ready. Let me know when you're ready.
Okay, thank you. I'm 2 weeks out from my show, but I have some shoots coming up this week, so it just makes your skin look a lot smoother and just, you know, has that nice dark glow to it. Today we're doing like a double dark and dark solution. So it's not going to be competition ready spray, but it's going to be pretty dark.
The nozzle ensures a fine, even layering. It's not a quick job. This is one big hunk of man that needs total coverage.
You have to get every crease of your body. On stage, you're wearing posers that ride halfway up your butt, so you have to get everything sprayed because if it goes over and that shows that white, it's really distracting. Sometimes it could turn a little orange, sometimes it doesn't. I've seen guys actually get sprayed and they turn like a greenish color.
Luckily for Armand, his swarthy dark complexion provides the perfect base color. Rather than divine intervention, Armand is putting his trust in a good tan.
You have to be very selfish to be like one of the best. It's always about you. Your tanning, your eating, your cooking, your training, your sleep, everything.
Coming up,
Let me see your man panties.
with the competition looming, the guys get some straight talk from their pose coach.
All this right here, all this. Get it in, and get it out. Quit taking forever.
Wednesday morning at the METROFLEX Gym in Arlington, Texas. It's now just a few days before Armand, Corey, and Chris will head to Miami and compete in the national championships. They've been following a strict diet for months, and their bodies are fully conditioned and at their peak. But in order to score well, these guys are going to have to know just how to flaunt what they've got in front of the judges.
Posing is one of the more important parts of the sport. You have to know how to show what you have. Anyone can have muscle, but if they don't know how to show it, it doesn't do them any good. And so that's where the posing coaches come in.
Let's boogie.
Enter Sheila Brown.
Let me see your man panties. All men. Armand, Chris.
To those unfamiliar with this sport, this exaggerated posing may look ridiculous, but it's how bodybuilders score all-important competition points.
Good job. Flex from the legs up, because you know, us as judges, we're sitting lower, so make sure those legs are the first thing you flex. Before you flex. I've been posing coaching for about 20 years, and I posed from Branch Warren to Ronnie Coleman to Iris Kyle. These are all top contenders.
A good pose coach will instruct the bodybuilders how to show off their best points and conceal their flaws.
Always squeeze those glutes when you face the side. Always squeeze those glutes. What makes a good posing coach, I feel, is patience and learning their personalities and knowing when to pull back and when to be aggressive. Just because I'm talking to him, you still hold your pose. You know better. I am a little bit more aggressive with those I've had for years and years, and a little bit more passive with the ones that are just kind of new. I reel them in, then when I've had it for a while, then I'm like, snap that whip.
It's a difficult job, learning how to flex all your muscles at once while still maintaining a cool poise.
They point out certain things, you know, hey, you know, this is a better point for you. You know, you have, you can show your physique off a little better this way, or, you know, if you just twist a little bit that way, then, you know, we can see that.
Oh, come on.
Sheila can clearly see the problems of each competitor's pose, and she doesn't hold back.
Corey needs to practice. He's got awesome lats, but apparently he doesn't know he has awesome lats because you don't spread them out like you should. So I'm looking at Corey, and I'm noticing that when he flexes his lats, he does the lat spread, he's not tilting his chest up. And judges, we sit low, so I'm trying to tell him to tilt back towards us so we can see his full spread.
We want to give the judges what they want to see because they're the ones that are going to, you know, give you your scores.
The judges will be scrutinizing each body to see if the muscles shape up.
Muscle shape, hardness, dryness, separation, fullness, balance. They want a balanced physique.
This is a very subjective sport. You're basically judged on somebody else's opinions or the opinions of 6 or 7 other people. And you've got to be able to take that. If you can't, you really won't go far in this sport.
He's always got the good syndicate delts, but he always lacks the ab work. So hopefully he can bring it in this time. Chris is a teenage prodigy. He's already gifted genetically. I'm on Chris all the time, like, bear down on your abs, because you're a teenage prodigy, I guarantee you there are about 5 more prodigies on that stage. Yes, looks good. Armand, quit taking so long when you do the pose. All this right here, all this, get it in, and get it out. Quit taking forever. You take forever, like you're waking up, you gotta get some fire in you. Focus. Somebody's coming to kick your butt. So, handle your business. Quit going so slow. When they say hit it, boom, hit it. For the bicep, boom, hit it. Quit taking all this right here, all that. It's not even, you know, it's not even worth it. So, for the love of God, I hope y'all get it done by Friday. All right? You got it.
Thank you.
Good job.
Sheila has done all she can to get these guys to competition level.
But I always ask for
Before they go, Brian gives them a little reality check.
When this show that y'all are going to, it's a huge event. I mean, you're champions here in Texas, but there's champions from all over the nation going to this thing in every weight class. There's great guys. I mean, I remember my first big national event. I'd won everything I'd ever been in up to that point, and then I went there and realized I wasn't quite as good as I thought I was. Again, I'm proud of all three of y'all. I thank you for doing this with us, and we're just going to say a prayer for this. Let's all kind of circle up a little bit.
Hopefully, with a little help from the Almighty, results will swing their way.
And we just thank you so much in the mighty name of Jesus. Amen.
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 Thanks, Brian.
Good luck, brother.
Thank
Love
you.
you, man.
Thanks a lot.
Love you, man. Chris, tear him up, brother. Proud of these guys. Adios. See you later, Brian.
There's a vulnerable side to many of these men. They may be ripped to the max, but they don't strut about like arrogant jocks. Rather, they're extremely driven and determined athletes. They know their hopes and dreams rest in a delicate balance. One badly timed injury could wipe out a year of competitions. They invest huge amounts of time and money into a pastime that may never really pay off for them.
How's it look?
Well, fellas, it's our last time we'll be able to eat to the show. I'm pretty confident that the Lord is with me. He's blessed me thus far, and I'd like to just stay humble and know that as long as I do my best, then there will be no regrets.
A little bit. My goal is to look the best I can look. If someone looks better, there's nothing really you can do. Yeah.
These guys will continue to hit the gym, pushing their bodies even harder in a bid to achieve success. To most people, they've already taken their bodies to crazy extremes, but once you've got the bug, it's difficult to give up.
Some of these guys have been going at it for forever trying to earn their pro cards and just coming so close every time. I'm not going to be one of those. I'm going to try, and if I don't reach it by a certain age, I'm going to hang it up, and move on.